do you have any tips or techniques on how to be unemotional when making decisions? Yeah, absolutely. So when you start a company, you got to keep your emotions in check. Don't ever get too happy when things go really, really well. And I know that's a bizarre thing to say, but I say it because when things actually don't go well, you might get your emotions to control judgment and make poor business decisions. And so you just have to be completely unemotional about business in general. And I found that some of the billionaires that I've worked for at various hedge funds are kind of emotionally detached. Not all of them, but some. They're emotionally detached. Maybe it's borderline Asperger's, I don't know. But they never get too upset when things don't go well. And there's not as much high-fiving around the office from my experiences when things go incredibly well. And so you gotta keep your emotions in check always. And for me, what I try to do is I meditate and I go on long walks as well. And I think about what's the worst thing that can happen. And I always tell myself, I can't control the past. I'm just going to focus on today, and I'm going to visualize how awesome the future is going to be so that hopefully it can come true. And every time something bad happens to me in my career, I always tell myself, okay, what's positive about this? What's positive about this? And every failure or perceived failure I've had in life has actually been a blessing in disguise because it's guided me down a different path. Which is teaching, and I'm so happy to be doing what I'm doing today. Another thing that I do is, aside from thinking differently and being a contrarian and seeing opportunity in crisis, what I do is when I come home, when I touch the front door, the handle on the front door, I tell myself that I'm leaving my problems at work. And so when I get in the house, it's all about family. And I have a separate studio outside here in my backyard over here. I'll show you later on. But that's the office. But when I'm in the upstairs house, it's not fair to bring, my frustrations of work home with me. And what I used to do when I used to live in a place called Burlingame, California, I remember back in 2008, it was awful, man. I mean, we were within 48 hours of bank machines not working. And the people on the left of us and the right both foreclosed on their house. And so when I came home from work, and I had my own hedge fund at the time, which did fine, but when I came home, sometimes I'd be really stressed out. And Matthew, who's my middle child before Dylan was born, Matthew would say, "Daddy, did you have a good day or a bad day at work today?" And if I said, "Well, it wasn't that great," then he'd go like this, and he'd walk away. And if I said good day, then he'd say, great. He'd light up like a Christmas tree, like Tweety Bird. He'd light up and say, great, can we play catch in the backyard? And there's nothing more therapeutic than playing catch with one of your kids. I love it. It reminds me of the movie The Natural. Remember the ending scene when he played catch with his dad, Robert Redford, or even Field of Dreams when Kevin Costner played catch with his dad. Little side note there, but I love baseball. I'm getting shivers just thinking about that. But you got to detach yourself completely. So meditate and really condition yourself so that when you touch the front door on your house or your apartment, whatever it is, that you leave business outside. Otherwise, it'll ruin you. Yeah, and so those are my humble thoughts on how to be incredibly unemotional when making decisions.